appreciate the opportunity to voice my opinion here this evening. It was interesting. I was doing a little research today, and one of the things that I discovered by going to the Cecil County, Maryland government website was the Cecil County government vision statement. It says Cecil County government shall strive to be stewards of the public's trust to protect the public health, safety, and welfare of its citizens, while recognizing that the chief function of local government at all times is to serve the best interests of the people in Cecil County. And I can tell you from what I hear this evening, and from the people that have addressed thus far, this LOI doesn't meet your vision statement, so you might want to address that. The other thing is that I found quite interesting in going through the LOI is you continually talk about hardship and the problems that you have in trying to find adequate housing. And again, going to Cecil County government's website, there's very clearly a section there on housing, and there's very clearly a section that in that housing area that talks about providing adequate housing or assisting in rental type situations. I think they call it Section 8, but whatever the case may be, I would think that that would be a much better way to address the situation as far as the hardship situation. The other thing is, I'm not so sure that the commissioners of the county really want to put themselves in a position where you're the sole judge of what hardship really is. I think you're taking on a task that's going to continue to keep you here a lot longer than 9 o'clock tonight, so you might want to take a look at that. The other thing is, with adequate housing, you really need to have housing that is going to be conducive for raising a family or for retirement or whatever the case may be. When I visited the website for Indian Acres, they continually in their own website discuss that it's strictly a campsite. You turn the water off in November, whatever the case may be, and that you got to cart your sewage over to the local area to dump it yourself. And I got to tell you, that doesn't quite meet with what I would consider to be adequate housing as far as for providing that for a family in and over the winter months. And the last thing I'd like to add is that, not to be taken wrong, but in my mind, the 10-year LOI, gentlemen, ladies, all you're doing is prolonging the agony to a certain degree and perhaps pushing it off onto the next Board of Commissioners. I think it's time we step up and do what should be done. Make it a boy or a girl, as they say in real life. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Joe Weinberg, 330 Sandy Bottom Road. I tried to get into boxes 333. There's no space left in there. You guys all have this in your email. I sent it just in case I didn't get a chance to speak. And I'm very succinct here. A, no one who purchased a Funstead can claim they didn't know it was seasonal. It's clearly stated in the purchase agreement. Therefore, any claim to full-time residency is illegitimate. This agreement could lead to similar problems arising at other camping-only locations in the county. B, WSC is the real culprit here. They haven't enforced the residency rules. You, as a board, should focus on penalizing WSC until they begin operating IA according to their own rules. C, making an agreement with a small splinter group ignores the desires of the remainder of the owners at IA. All agreements should only be made with the input from all Funstead owners. The courts have twice ruled that there's no right to full-time residency. What makes you think they're going to look the other way this time? E, there are important environmental, health, and safety concerns that must be dealt with, but they're ignored in the letter of intent. F, if you approve the letter of intent, you're going to incur hundreds of thousands of dollars of legal expenses to the detriment of all of the legitimate taxpayers of this county. This is to appease a small group of people who do not pay their fair share of taxes. And G, the money that will be wasted on legal fees could be set aside and used to assist in the relocation of those residents who have legitimate financial problems. Thank you.
Thank you. at 690 Night Island Road. The zoning law is clear. The law does not allow for full-time residency at Indian Acres. I'm requesting that you support the zoning laws as they exist. I don't believe commissioners have the right to ignore the zoning laws. I question that there exists ability to enforce a 10-year waiver as proposed. You are simply taking the path of least resistance.
Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Mike Arms and I live on Holly Lane. I've lived there for 32 years. This is just adjacent to Indian Acres, and I just wanted to read a very short section of a longer letter that I sent to you all, the commissioners, on June 5th. The only response I got from this letter was from Commissioner Hodge, and I do appreciate that. If the new rules supporting full-time residency are put in place, the commissioners will of necessity assume the legal responsibility for the situation as it goes forward. The commissioners will become liable for ignoring state-mandated critical area regulations, suspending county building and sanitation codes, allowing for the pollution of nearby public waterways, enabling the uncontrolled perpetuation of a de facto low-income housing project without inspection, verification, or enforcement of standard Cecil County regulations.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Linda Gilmer. I'm from 451 Bethlehem Pike, Homer, PA. I own property at Glenbrae 195 and 194. Okay, this is going to go into effect. I started to purchase my property in November. That's when I gave the man the down payment. It took the lawyers a little over the 15 days up to December 15th for the full-time status. So now the attorney is telling me that I wouldn't be eligible for the full-time status. My reason for buying this property was that for any reason I was to become disabled and need a place to go, I would be able to stay, just on a temporary basis. Not have to be there all the time, but still, not just 150 days a year. Now, if you do own two properties in there, does that give you 150 days in each one?
Hello, my name is Charlotte Stalin. I am on the board of the South Bass River Association, as are a whole bunch of people around here.
Can I guess your address?
No, my address is 162 Georgetown. My family has been there for a century or two. We've all watched as the Sassafras River has gone downhill. The algae blooms, all of the disgusting things floating in the water. You know that. We know that. My heart goes out to people who find it necessary to live in a temporary place the best they can year-round. That's a separate issue from what's happening to the sassafras. I'm with everybody here who has said, you're just passing the buck. I'm sorry. You just aren't making the hard decisions, you're just passing the buck. Making somebody else, 10 years from now, deal with whatever mess will result. And I think the people who live there, you need to make a decision about how to provide for them, which does not include making the Sassafras River worse than it already is.
Thank you.